Welcome back to Bucks Beat, episode 117 today, and we'll be deep diving into Georgia Bulldog quarterback Gunner Stockton, one of my favorite subjects coming into the 2025 college football season. Gunner not getting any respect this preseason. As you know, we've mentioned it on the podcast before. Feinbaum's been busy ripping Gunner, and now these college football preseason magazines are all dropping. I've seen them. They're on the newsstand at Publix and Kroger, and I just don't see Gunner on any of the covers of these preseason magazines. I did see him on one. I think Athlon's got him on there, but coming into this season, Gunner is, not considered one of the top quarterbacks in the SEC. So 16 teams in the SEC. And Gunner, one of the most recent ones I saw, Gunner was number 12 out of 16. 24/7 Sports came out with their top 50 college football quarterbacks. Gunner Stockton, oh my goodness, 42nd rated quarterback coming into this season. ESPN.com, Gunner is in Tier 5. That's right, Tier 5 of the college quarterbacks coming into the season. Let me remind you what Feinbaum was saying, that Gunner, totally underwhelmed with what he saw out of Gunner Stockton in that Sugar Bowl. Doesn't look like a very good quarterback to me. Somebody is in Paul's ear. I'm not sure who that is. I saw him, too, at the SEC meetings down in Destin. He was on with Feinbaum, and Kirby admitted to him, he said, yeah, we've heard about your take, and Gunner has, too. He's heard all about it. You know, and Gunner's not the only one that's being undervalued coming into the season. Alabama, they're talking about the same thing with the Alabama Crimson Tide. Ty Simpson, not regarded as one of the top 10 SEC quarterbacks either. So Gunner and Simpson, as I see it, have a couple of things in common. One is that they're both surrounded by a lot of talent. And number two, they're both running a pro-style system with really good coaches, game planning and calling the plays. Every quarterback needs those things coming into a season if they want to be successful. So keep that in mind as you're reading all of these preseason magazines. Against Notre Dame in the playoffs, Gunner went 20 of 34 for 234 and a touchdown. Not bad numbers, especially for a guy that had not played very much at all during the course of the season. The Dogs offensively against the Fighting Irish, who had one of the better defenses in college football. Bulldogs really struggled that night on third down, converting on third down only 2 of 12 opportunities. And that's why one of the big reasons why Bulldogs only scored 10 points in that loss. My takeaways, though, in that game were Gunner Stockton went back, and I've watched it 2 or 3, 4 times, and really focused on Gunner's performance a couple of times, watching the video again. But my big takeaway, positive-wise, was the way Gunner stood in the pocket and delivered some of the toughest throws a big-time college quarterback is going to have to make, and that is intermediate portion of the field between the hash marks. You have a tendency as a quarterback, your vision, you can lose a linebacker, you can lose a safety in your vision, not able to see him, so there's a little more of an unknown than, say, throwing outside the hash where you can see all that green grass, you can see if anybody's underneath your receiver. You don't get that in the middle of the field a lot of time. Your vision's blocked. And Gunner really impressed against Notre Dame the way he stood in the pocket and delivered the football. And several times he knew he was going to get hit in the face and still stood in the pocket, stepped toward the target, and made the throw. got hit on the chin, got knocked down, and got right back up and got to the huddle. How can you not be impressed with that? To me, that's everything for a quarterback in this day and time. Tough, committed. And Gunner really impressed me with that. There were a couple of throws that really stood up. Oscar Delp, the tight end, running a dig route, 15, 18 yards down the field, crossing route. Linebackers underneath, safeties over the top. Stepped in there and delivered a strike to Oscar Delp. Arian Smith on the deep ball early in the game, 60-plus yard deep ball. He took a shot, stepped up, delivered the football right on the money down the field. There was also a Dominic Lovett on the seam working the intermediate middle part of the field, and Gunner stepped in there and threw a beautiful pass for the completion. In the business, so to speak, is called staring down the barrel of the gun and stepping into your throw, releasing the ball, unintimidated, knowing you're about to get hit in the face, in the chin. And Gunner looked really, really good doing that against Notre Dame. You know, if I had to be a critic on one thing, I would say held the ball too long back in the pocket on a couple of the plays. So these quarterbacks, quarterback, whether you're a senior or a freshman, you're working on this one thing, and that is trying to speed up the process of determining where the football is going. Speed up the process. Process the information at the snap of the ball. You're working on this all the time, trying to speed that up. And we're talking about split seconds here of getting rid of the football. So, I think that's one of the things Gunner can continue to work on, like every other quarterback in college football. There's always a primary receiver, and you see some quarterbacks staying on that primary receiver, even if he's covered, giving him an extra second or two to get open. And you got to be really disciplined doing this. You've got to get off that primary receiver and go through your progressions quickly. Number 2, number 3, check it down. Gunner can continue to work on those things and get better. Look, he's got the arm talent. He's got arm talent. No hesitation, as I mentioned a minute ago, and I saw this in the spring game, G-Day, where Gunner, no hesitation of identifying a deep shot opportunity and then making the throw, giving that receiver a chance to make some big plays down the field. He does a good job of seeing the entire field and will only get better. Look, a lot of the people offering up this criticism, I think for the most part, they're always seem to be really ultra-focused on the stats, and I've never been a stats guy. But you look at Gunner's stats, and granted, look, he hadn't played at the college level, barely got on the field. But as far as the state of Georgia goes during his high school career, number 3 all-time in the state in passing yards. I know a lot of you folks out there love the statistics, right? I mean, you fall in love with this, how many yards did the quarterback throw for? I've never been a big fan of focusing on this, but Gunner, number 3 all-time in the state of Georgia, where there's been some great big-time quarterbacks play the game. 13,652 career passing yards. So there you go, you stats guys. How can you not be impressed with that? Number 1 in the state of Georgia, high school football career passing touchdowns. Now, I do like that stat. 177 career passing touchdowns. Very impressive for you stats guys out there. I thought you might like that. Looking ahead to this season, 2025 season for this Georgia Bulldog offense, Gunner's really in a good place. Believe there will be a little more focus on the run game this upcoming season. I believe the plan right now is to feed Nate Frazier the football. Had to play as a true freshman a year ago. He's got to clean up the ball security and pass pro, and I'm certain that those are the things he's working on this offseason, but he's a dynamic running back. And I think the plan right now is to feature him in the run game and throw him the football out on the open areas of the field. And because you can run the football, the run action fakes will be huge for the passing game. Play action pass, something that Gunner is very proficient doing, is being able to work off the run action fakes and do some damage throwing the ball down the field. And then number 3, the quick pass, which is an extension of the run game, something Mike Bobo and Kirby Smart believe in. You're going to see a lot of those 3 things. Feed Nate Frazier, take some run action shots, and get that quick pass game going. High percentage throws. It's an extension of the run game as the coordinators see it in this day and time. As far as where I get this, the people say, well, Ballou, if you're so smart, where do you rate Gunner Stockton? And not everybody talks like that, but I do get that question a lot. Well, if they had him 42nd, where would you put him? Well, just looking at the SEC coming into the season this year, I'd have Gunner somewhere 6 or 7 out of the 16 quarterbacks. Arch Manning is going to do some unbelievable things at Texas this season. Nussmeier at LSU, back for another year, ton of experience, got playmakers around him, a good system. He can spin it. So those 2 guys really jump as far as the top 2 quarterbacks in the league go coming into the season. I like Talon Green better than most. He shows up on my list. Lenore Sellers, DJ Lagway broke out a year ago at Florida. Marcel Reed played some good quality, got some experience at Texas A&M last season. I'd have Gunner Stockton right after that grouping of quarterbacks coming into the year. That said, though, let me point this out, that these preseason rankings and these preseason ratings are meaningless. Is based on what you did last year or what some people believe you might be able to do this year. Projections, these are almost meaningless. It's great to pick up, and I guess if you're a fan, but for guys that are in the game, if you're focused on or feeling good about what happened last year, or falling into the hype of what you might do this year, I think you're really focused on the wrong things. My message to Gunner, and I've told him this, I've seen Gunner around some of these charity golf tournaments, and I really enjoy speaking with Gunner when I do see him. And my message to Gunner is to keep focused on being the best quarterback that you can be. And he's done a really great job of that, developing behind the scenes. All right, you want to be the best you can be. Use the doubters and the criticism coming into this season. Use that to fuel your fire. We all need motivation. Hey, use it as motivation coming into the season. Continue to encourage your teammates during the off-season workouts, getting ready for summer camp coming up later. And prepare yourself to win and win big this season. Rep it with these receivers and tight ends that are new to the program so you can get that chemistry and confidence you're going to need when the season gets underway. And then finally, just enjoy the ride. You're only going down this road one time, and it's gone. It seems like it's gone in the blink of an eye. So try to get as much out of it as you can get out of it. Let me wrap by saying I believe Gunner Stockton's in a really good place. I mean, for the most part, he's under the radar on a team that is featuring some outstanding overall talent around Gunner. I look at this receiving core is as good as it's been since Aaron Murray and that group of receivers he had in 2012. Gunner's going to have a really good offensive line that's going to protect him. He's going to have a run game with Nate Frazier to play off. So he's got a lot of great people around him. A coordinator that I believe in, and Mike Bobo, that's going to game plan and play call with the best of them. Wasn't he just like a finalist for the Assistant Coach of the Year? I believe it was just in 2023. So I'm a believer in Bobo. Gunner's got that working in his favor. You got all these big games at home, Alabama, Texas, Ole Miss coming between the hedges. Gunner Stockton's in a really good place, folks. Don't buy this criticism coming into the season that he's not going to be a really good quarterback, because I believe he will be, and I can't wait to see it coming up here in a couple of months. Looking forward to the season very much. All right, that's going to do it for episode 117 of Bucks Beat. We appreciate you checking out the podcast. We'll have another one coming out later this week. I'm going to have a chance, hopefully, tomorrow up at the Falcon. We got the OTAs going on. Looking forward to talking with Jalen Walker about his rookie season coming up with the Atlanta Falcons. And don't forget the show, the Buck Belue Show, Monday through Friday. We're 6 to 8 now in that prime time slot. Now, when the Braves are playing at 7, I'm preempted, so know that. And then Saturday from 9 to noon here on 680 The Fan, the college football voice of the South. Join me next time on Bucks Beat as we talk to Jalen Walker. Have a great rest of the day, everybody.